my friend. I am tired of this talk AK, man. But it still does the job though, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to Playtonia.com, man? Play what?
Also known as Siddharth Prashant, and we are going to be getting into the third day of the live stream, and joining me today is going to be, as usual, like
this is Tangenberg, also known as Sriram Vishal, and like my friend just said,
yeah,
we are
like
here
usual.
for some CSGO action. This is day 3 and we are here at the first shot CSGO tournament hosted by Playtonia. And for the people who are watching it right now, this tournament is open for the people who are competing in the SEA region, and it comes with a whopping prize pool of $2,400 US, which is huge money compared to all the other online tournaments. So I feel like this is some kind of a platform where the SEA gamers could make a name for themselves and make sure that they can compete against the top
just
talent
let
out
themselves be known for all the CSGO players over at that area. And we are going to be seeing a lot of interesting games today. And talking about interesting games, day 1 was actually lackluster. Day 2 yesterday, it was actually
really
pretty
good, and which is going to bring us to day 3, and I'm really intrigued to see what is going to happen in today's action.
Is the entertainment curve gonna go like this, or is it gonna fall down? I don't really know, because
I mean, it's just about us to wait and watch. And today we're going to have a game between AOES2 and Detonation.
Yeah, Detonation. I was a little bit skeptical saying that name. Was it like Techno? Like I even can't say that name out loud. Like, it is so confusing, but yet it is still satisfying to say. And we are going to be seeing them playing a game of CS:GO in the map Inferno. Inferno is the first. This is the first time we are actually going to be seeing it.
I mean, we've been seeing a lot of cash lately, and
too much.
It's about time we are facing another map this time, and it's going to be Inferno, one of the maps I personally like as a T-side player, because you just have about very little options. That actually gives you a lot of space to think about
very
what to do
similar
and all
to
of that.
a map like Cache. You do have to get that mid control. Probably it's not as essential as it is in Cache, but Inferno does have a little bit more room to move around. You have a lot of other paths to take, unlike Cache, so you can use your ingenuity and show off your skills in this game. And this
I wouldn't just say that, but I partly would like to agree with that, because when you're going to look at a map like Inferno, the way we have been seeing, that is how people have been playing Cache. We have seen a lot of rotations, a lot of backstabbing, and I think a map like Inferno, that's something you need to take care about. That's something you need to put a lot of caution to, because most of the times when you see a game where Inferno is being played, you see a lot of rotations coming out there, a lot of backstabs coming out there from the opponent side, and that is something which we will be seeing in this game as well, because you see, there aren't much of ways where you can get onto site. Just about two or three places where you can try to get and rush into the site, which is clearly not like how you probably would be playing with every other map, and which is gonna lead us to today's game between AOES2 and Team Detonation, and we are gonna be live with the knife round at this moment. So what do you think is gonna happen? Who do you think will be winning this, or what would you probably go ahead if you win this knife round?
Well, personally, I would go for the CT side, because I feel like, when the game actually starts in the beginning, the T sides usually have the tendency to, huddle up near bananas, especially in those pistol rounds. And I feel like the advantage is going to be over at the CT side if you're going to be playing over at the general area, especially over near the bananas area. So I would actually pick CT myself, And we are going to be looking at Detonation. They are going to be staying over at T, while AOES is going to be playing over at the CT side. So let's actually see how this is going to be working out. The warm-up is going to end and the pistol round is going to start. So ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because this is not going to be the only tournament which you're going to be streaming. There are going to be a lot more. And if hit that bell icon, you'll at least know when we are going to be streaming next. And
I mean, it's more like a heads up which you'll be getting up whenever you're going to subscribe or like the page, because there will be a lot more to come after this as well. So I think it's your duty to just get down to the comment section, just get your friends to know about that, and even like my friend just said, just keep subscribing, just like the page as well, so that you'll be staying up to date with that, as we are underway with the first round out here in this game between AOES as well as Team Detonation. The pistol round going on in favor, I would say,
of
right
AOES.
now. AOES are a man up, and I think that's going to be...
Kelvin actually got a kill over at mid, and we do see the rotations being made by the T-side. They actually lost one more over at mid. So AOES, they are off to a really good start. We are going to be seeing Vanquisher. He is going to be peeking over at mid and is also going to be looking at the boiler area. Is going to be making sure that he does not get caught unawares. We do see Detonation. He is going to spot a player, just rattling about. That is going to be Kelvin, by the way, who got those 2 kills. So let's actually see if this guy has the opportunity to get an ace or something, because he is looking at the right directions, and we do see smoke setup being made by the side of Team Detonation. They are going to be coming over from apartments, and okay.
And it's gonna be Kelvin who's got a side of both of them, and RevengeX is gonna get 1 while he's gonna get traded out there, and Sephoris is gonna get 2 as well. So that's gonna be the first round there for AOES. That's pretty much a good play coming out there from the CD side, not the one which the T side would have been expecting coming out there heading into the round. And Kelvin, he was able to get those 2 frags, which was quite instrumental in getting the mid control, even though people were not from the carpet side as well as the apartments from the T side. It really did not help their base. They weren't able to make the plan, and Sephoris was able to get about a couple of kills and close that round for them pretty quickly. And I think this could be a buy, but no, that doesn't seem to be a buy. They are going to stick on.
Yeah, I mean, they did not get the bomb plant, so not really surprised by their choice to not really buy anything. I do see Vanquisher having a deagle and Lazy with a P250, so just a little bit of a change to the usual strategies that these guys have. We do see Team Detonation. They are going to be pushing over at second mid, trying to go towards Abs, and Kelvin, he is going to be playing around the A side. He's just going to be keeping an eye over at the carpets area, while his friend is going to be playing from quad. So let's actually see how this is going to be working out. And I guess the T side are not really trying to make a push right now. They're going to be.
They are making their way onto apartments to see if they can spot out guys from the CD side. Let's see how this is going to work out, because Kelvin is a guy who was holding out the apartments as well as side pretty well in the previous round. He in fact went mid and pushed back again, and he was able to make that rotation back onto site, and he was able to defend that as well. So that is actually going. That's actually showing the prowess of the CT side, and it's gonna be a 3K. Make that almost a 4K coming out there for RevengeX, as he is gonna take down. He's gonna take down at least about 4.
Yeah, he actually took out 3 people right there before he got shot down. But still, we did see the people from the side of AOES. There was a guy playing from the art side. He was there to cover his friend, and even though his friend did die eventually, they did manage to secure that round for themselves. And we see Detonation, they're not going to be wasting any time. They're just going to be going all guns blazing with 5 AKs, while AOES, they're still going to be playing with their SMGs. I guess the utility is going to be there for the AOES side. So we do see AOES, they are going to be going for an aggressive push over near Banana, and they're going to be able to get a bunch of frags right here. 3 versus 2 right now, the situation. And we do see the 2 players from the side of Team Detonation. They are going to be retreating right now, going over to T-spawn, maybe trying to rotate over to second mid. And let's see how this is going to be working out. We do see ALVs, they are going to be picking up the AKs which Team Detonation had bought, except for Kelvin. He's still going to be playing with his MP9. And we do see one guy keeping an eye over at second mid from mid. And Detonation, it looks like he is just going to run into the crosshairs, so he needs to be careful, you know, peek over at his left before
he's got a
goes
really
forward.
good vision. Vision's got a really good vision, and he's going to spot out the bomb as well, and that is going to be one kill out there, and he might even get another one if he's going to spot it out, but it's going to be Lazy who's going to spot him instead, and the bomb could be picked up right now. 3 of them trying to close in, trying to see where the last guy from Team Detonation is, but that's not going to help the case for AOE's vision, as he's going to go down as well. So all of a sudden it's now a 2-on-1 rather than a 4-1 at this time, and the bomb is going to get planted at right now at A side, but then it's a fake coming out there from Lazy. He's going to spot one, he baits out one, he could even take another one at this time. He's got a lot of time, 30 seconds left for him to make a play for himself. From a 4v1, it's now on to a 1v1. He probably could be going for a fake again. That is going to allow supporters to come, and both of them are pretty much, you know, engaging in this duel right now, but Lazy has no idea that he has moved to the left side, and that is going to be another round there for AOEs. That was a good try coming out there from Lazy. He almost clutched that from literally nowhere, I would say.
Well, they did manage to secure themselves one AK. I thought it would be a lot more than that, since we did see a lot of people from the T side. They actually fell down over when they were having that little bit of a skirmish over at Bananas, but they somehow made it not worth AOE's time. They made sure that they got those bunch of frags and made sure they did not salvage any free guns with that fight. And we are going to be seeing
that's going to leave the T side onto pistols as they are making their way on to Bananas. The Molly coming out there, the Incendiary coming out there, at least, you know, damaging a 3 to 4 of them, and it's going to be Sephoris who's going to take down 3, and Revengex is going to get down and take a couple of them courtesy of their AUG, and that's going to be a wipe out there for Team AOE as they're going to get their 4th round into this game.
Like nobody dropped dead from the side of AOE, as that was a very clean execution, and it felt like you know, the T side, they were just getting a little bit too desperate. Once the molly was being placed, I guess they could have, you know, played it a little bit slower. They could have backed up.
No, it was the perfect use of utilities in my opinion, because when you were looking at the rush out there, all of them from the T side were blinded because of those a couple of flashes which the CTs had executed out there, adding to the molly as well, which was, you know, really not helping their case.
I guess the T side could have played it a little bit slower, but I guess, you know, they made a little bit of a mistake. They just wanted to rush in, and they paid that dearly with their lives without even getting a return kill. So we are going to be seeing Detonation. They are going to be going for the full buy, 4 AKs and 1 AWP, and let's see how this is going to be panning out for them. We see Lazy, he's going to be pushing over at Apartments, the smoke being primed up by Puss, and let's actually see how this is going to be working out. The smoke has been thrown out, and that is going to give them AOE that people are going to be pushing over at A, and we do see one guy still over at Bananas, just waiting to see if he wants to go for a flank or something. We do see Kelvin Chong, he is going to be getting that first kill onto Team Detonation. Vanquisher is going to be going down, but this is still not in their favor because they have lost themselves one more player too.
But then Kurtzy has already made his way near Arches, but I don't think the Opper has any idea regarding that, as the smoke has faded as well, so that's not going to allow them to get head into CT as well. So Kelvin's going to get one more kill out there, as Kurtzy is going to take out Revengex out there. So it's going to be a 3-on-3 at this point of time, as we see a couple of guys from Team AOES at A side, while we see all the 3 people coming out there from the T side making their way on A, while we are going to see Push going back to Bananas. He's going to take down the last guy who was at B for Team AOES. That's going to be a free B out there, while there is going to be a person who is rotating out there. He's already made his way onto CD, so the plant should be made anytime soon if they would not want it to go on the other way, as we are going to see Kelvin making his way through the smoke. He's going to head back and try to check out the place at the coffin, but that's going to be Puss who's going to get one more as well. The boost coming out there is going to help Kurtzy at this moment. He's got a superior advantage. He's got a superior advantage at the moment, and Puss could get another one as well, but no, it's going to be Vision who's going to take it down with that headshot from the AK coming out there from Vision, and he's going to spot down one more as well, and all of a sudden it's going to be a 1-on-1. It's going to be Lazy against Vision, and he is going to go for the fake at the moment. That is going to bait out Lazy. Is he going to go? Oh, he's going to go for the... Oh my god, that was a brilliant play coming out there from Vision, and I think this was right down to the wire. I thought he was going to go for a fake again, but then he went
he
for
also
a full.
saved the AWP. So this has been working out completely in the favor of AOES. Like they could have played this a lot worse, but they played that perfectly. Since there were just 2 people alive when they made that B plant, the first guy actually, you know, giving out the call that there is going to be one guy in construction, and you saw it right here. He just moved a little bit towards the right right-hand side of where the crosshair was actually being placed by the Opper. And
I
that
really
just
exactly
off-put
like that could have been the game changer or probably the round changer for them, because Team Detonation really had it till that moment. If the Opper would have, you know, tried to taken him out, that could have been their round for them. That could have secured the round for them. As we are going to see two people from the CD side making their way already onto the edge of bananas right near the T ramp, and I really don't think Team Detonation have any idea that the CDs are this close away from their base, and let's see how that's going to work out for them. We see a couple of we see about 3 AKs coming out there for Team Detonation, while we still have the Opper in the form of Puss, who is there as Vision is going to get mollied out there. That's going to make him fall back, even though one of his teammates is there right on that corner, and let's see how that's going to pan out for the team.
But Detonation is already dead for Team Detonation, so they are already playing at a disadvantage, and we do see them trying to go for an A because they do know people are going to be playing a little bit closer towards bananas, and we do see the long rotation being made by one of the players from AOVS as Vanquisher and Kurtzy. They're trying to make an execute over at A, and we do see Vanquisher is going to be able to get the kill onto the bench X. He is going to be taking a little bit of damage from the Molotov, but that is not going to matter right now. Kelvin Tong, he is going to be playing from the carpet area. He is not going to be able to spot out a person, but there's right under him there is going to be one more player, so he needs to be careful. The flashes are getting thrown out right now, and he's going to be able to catch one guy, but no, he has the faster trigger fingers, and he is going to get the kill onto Kelvin. And we do see
then a
Vision
beautiful
right
play
there.
coming out there from Vision, trying to take him out from behind, and that's going to be Youngsek who is going to get one as well, and that's going to be the 6th round for AOES. Quite brilliant play coming out there from all the 5 people, and I would say that is something which a lot of teams are lacking right now. The perfect coordination, the perfect rotations coming out there. The team play is which is quite important for a game of CSGO, and I think that is something which Team Detonation need to work more on, at least till now, because if they are going to get more rounds, if they are going to lose more rounds in the T side, that's really going to haunt them back in the second half, because that's not how Inferno is. It's more of like, you know, as much as rounds you can pile up on the T side, that's going to be really helpful for you when you are going to switch onto the CD side. So that clearly is not going to be the case at this point of time for Team Detonation, as they have a big task, I would say, in front of them to, you know, try to get those rounds as quick as possible at this point.
And look at this right now. The AOVS, they knew that nobody were making any movements over at bananas, so we do see the immediate rotation over towards the A side, and we do see the second mid area has been completely occupied. Kurtzy, though, he is going to be able to spot out one player trying to push over from Boiler, but sadly Team Detonation, they only have Deagles in their arsenal, and only 2 players have armor, while Derosny, he has a helmet for himself, so he might be a little secure, you know, from the one shots, but it does not seem like it's working out in their favor. We see Kelvin, he is going to be moving towards the right hand side, and the flash has been made, so he knows that there are going to be people over at Boiler Room. The flash is getting thrown once more from him, and this is going to be quite hard right now. The Molotov is just delaying the push coming out from Boilers. Vanquisher is going to be keeping his eyes over at Art's side, while the friend over in the Boiler Room, he is going to be moving patiently, and look at that, he's not looking at the right location. He's going to get killed right now.
That was quite sad, and that's going to be Kelvin who's going to get one more as well. This is a sad play coming out there from Detonation, as they are losing precious time out there. They need to go and make the plant, but the bomb is still with Lazy, who is still at T-ramp at the moment, and Youngsek is going to clean that mess out there. That was a sad play coming out there from Team Detonation. They were able to make it into Boilers, but then it was Kelvin who was able to get that one kill onto the guy who was coming outside apartments, and then he was able to get the guy at mid.
Yeah, 2 more kills for him actually. Like, he got the first kill over at the Boilers, and then once he started peeking mid, he got the one guy with the AOG, and then shifted to the third guy who was actually there with the USP. And this is going to be, you know, quite a hard round for Team Detonation. This is round number 8, by the way, and AOVS is leading by 7-0. So I don't really know how exactly Team Detonation can come back. Maybe they need a timeout or something so they can, you know, rethink their strategies, rethink how they're going to be poking AOVS. But it looks like Vanquisher is going to be getting the kill onto Kelvin. Kelvin has been one of the most performing players from the side of Team AOVS. So I guess
there's going to be one more guy who's going to go down as well. It's going to be Puz who's going to take down Youngsek, who was at Bananas, and that's going to be a 5-on-3 advantage there for Team Detonation for the first time in this game. And let's see how that's going to work out for them as they are making their push onto Bananas. The mollies and flashes are being primed up at this time, and it's going to be Sephoris who is the only guy from the CT side who is at B. So this should be an easy B side for them if they are going to push it out right now, because if you are going to notice, there is a guy coming out there from CT who is trying to make the rotations out there, and I think both of them are trying to go on for a B. We see the guy making his way all the way to CT right now to see if the push is being made, and the molly coming there at the right time is gonna make Detonation go and flee for their lives, and they're gonna make their way onto mid as well. And that is some kind of good play coming out there from Team Detonation, as they clearly know that the rotation has been made, and it's gonna be Revengex as the only guy at A, and Vision's gonna get one, and Vanquish is gonna get Revengex, and that's gonna be a free A out there. They could just go and plant this and walk away from this, as both the guys from the CT side are making it from their spawn. And let's see how that's gonna work out, because we see Vanquish making his way onto library, just waiting and baiting out the guys from the CT side. Can they actually make a play from themselves? Because we have seen a lot of clutches coming out there from AOE as the 1v3s and 2v4s, but I sadly don't think that is going to be the case this time, as Puss as well as Vision are going to go head to head, and a good shot coming out there from
that was a really nice flick coming out from Puss right there. He was actually looking over at the art side. He did not comprehend that he was just sitting right next to him, being camouflaged by the smoke. And this was, a really good play being made by Team Detonation. They really needed this round, because I feel like if they lost this one, their economy would have taken a hit, their morale would have taken a hit, and they would have felt like AOVS is this unstoppable hurdle that they could not, move forward against. And right now, since they do have this round, maybe they have an idea of how to play against AOVS. And I
really feel that this could be the round where Detonation can pull out a miracle, because if you're going to look at how the economy is there for both these teams, I think if AOES could afford to lose this round, that's not really going to help them out for the next two rounds, as we are going to see Kelvin right in front of Kirzi. He's going to get taken out there by that spam coming out there, the first bullet right into his head, and that is going to leave Team Detonation with a one-man advantage at the moment, as the smoke is being put up right onto mid for the guy at Boilers. Let's see how this is going to work out for them, as we all see the T's making their way on a mid as well as second mid respectively, trying to see if there is any backstab coming out there. We see one guy at T-Ramp as well, as Vision and his friends are just patiently waiting at both these sites. We see a 2-2 setup at this time. We see a guy at Archers, a guy at Pit, and we see a guy at CT as well as the B side, and which is going to leave Team Detonation in a fix, because right now both the sides are guarded and they are in some really good positions at this moment. The utilities are not yet being fully used from the side of AOE, so even if the T side try to go for a push or something like that, they could probably waste a lot of time out there as well. So that's how they've been playing for the round as well. We see a couple of smokes and an incendiary coming out there from the CT side, but it looks as if the T side are going to make their way on A. We see the bomber as well as the three people from Team Detonation out there, while there's just going to be one person from their side going on to be trying to make it as a fake, but it's going to be Vision who's going to take down Vanquisher at this time, as they are trying to make their way out there. 14 seconds is all they have right now. They have to make this plant at this time. If they're not going to do that, that's going to cost them real money at this time, and I think that is going to be the case right now. The bomb is going to get, I don't think it's going to get planted, and that is going to be a round there for AOES. Sad execution coming out there from Team Detonation. They could have probably got
more than sad execution. It felt like the defense being made by AOES was just that good, and you saw it right there. Vision, who was playing, trying to defend carpets, he threw the Molotovs at the right moments. As soon as the flashes started coming in, he threw the Molotov, and that just delayed the push being made by Detonation. That gave him enough space for them to actually, spread apart. And AOE's Vision, he actually got those kills pretty easily. And we are going to be looking at round number 10, 8-1 in the favor of AOES. And Detonation, they really have to pull a miracle right now, because things are not looking really good. I think if they lose this round, they are going to be forced to, save a lot more money, because
if Detonation are going to lose this, they could probably go on for pistols, but I don't think they can full buy the next round, because you see a couple of them are under a grand out there, and that's not really going to help their case. Probably just about a 2 guys or something could buy SMGs or something like that, because should they force the next round, that's not really going to help them out, because they could probably go on for pistols and armor and then go on for a full buy in the next round. But let's see how that's going to work out, because if they are going to win this round. That clearly would not be the case. So let's just see how that's going to work out.
Let's have
As
our
we
fingers crossed.
actually see one person going down, and Kelvin's going to get another one as well. And all of a sudden, it's going to be a 5-on-3 in favor of Team AOES. Let's see how this is going to work out, as the Bomber is making his way on a second mid, while we see the other two people from Team Detonation making their way on a mid. As A is heavily guarded at this point of time, we see about 3 guys from CTs, one of them standing at Boiler, one of them at Pit, and the other one at Archers, making sure that their defense is going to get really thick out there, making sure that nobody is going to make their way out there. But Lazy is going to get one, and now it's going to be a 4-on-1, as Kelvin's going to get one more as well, as the last guy from Team Detonation is making his way off Bananas. And if he's going to get Revenge X at this moment, but Revenge X is at the right place at the right time, as he's going to get the Bomber, and that's going to be one more round there for the CT side.
And this is, quite good execution, good defense being made by the side of AOES. You have to give credit where it's due. You see Kelvin, as soon as he hears the side of Detonation actually retreating, trying to, go for a B, he just, peeks over at mid, gets those easy frags. This has actually been the second time that he's gotten away by doing that. So I guess you have to give credits where it's due. And things are not looking really good for Team Detonation. They are going to be rolling with one SMG and a bunch of utilities, but I don't really know how well that is going to be working out. But the hit unity has done a lot of damage to Team Detonation. They are just running as cows to the slaughter, as Detonation and Vanquish are going to be the only players alive in their team, and they have to play this a little bit careful. They are going to be pincered over at T-spawn and the Bananas area. Vanquisher, he is completely trapped right now. He has 3 people behind him near the B side and 1 person just across mid, so he needs to be careful and say no more, as Kelvin, he is going to be getting the kill onto Vanquisher.
And he's actually hunting him down, because they pretty much know that the bomb has been secured at B, and all they need to do is right now go and hunt down at Detonation, because they know the value of the economy, which they are superior at this point of time, as that is going to leave Team Detonation into probably an eco at this time, because that's clearly not what they wanted at this point of time. The mollies as well as their smokes, the utilities in particular, were quite impeccable, their usage and all of that. That clearly made sure that the bomb had been dropped at Bananas, and I think that is something which was really questionable. The Bomber going right in front and trying to take the pick.
I feel like Detonation are getting a little desperate, and that was really uncalled for, because that round they actually had a bunch of guns, and maybe they could afford to do that kind of a strategy right now, because they have a bunch of SMGs, the run and gun strat. But when they had rifles and when they did have a bunch of utilities, I didn't really understand why they wanted to go ahead and play that aggressive. And we do see Kelvin, he is going to be playing over at Boilers, has that Molotov being thrown, so the push is not going to be made. Detonation, I think this is a very bad idea, as he's going to be throwing that flash at the wrong time. And we see Vision and one more of his friend are going to be...
Oh, but then Vision could probably spot out Puss at there. He is making his way right from the tunnels, and he's going to spot him as well, but it's going to be Puss who's going to take him down as well, as Curtsy is going to make his way, but he's going to go down as well. And all of a sudden, it's a 3-on-2, and we can probably see that as a 3-on-1, because the bomb has been dropped again. It's going to be Kelvin who's going to make that play as well. So it's going to be Vanquisher who is the last guy alive. He probably could take the bomb if it's going to be a kill out there for him, and he does do that, and he is making his way onto A, where both the CTs are. They clearly know where Team Detonation's last player, which happens to be Vanquish, is, and it's going to be Sephiroth who's going to get another kill out there. That's about 3 kills for him in this round. That's brilliant play coming out there from the CTs, making their way all the way from Bananas onto the T-Ramp. That's something which the teams usually never expect, the push coming out there from the CTs, because I really don't expect that as well. But I guess the way AOEs have been reading Team Detonation like a book is going to actually help them out.
It's not more like reading, it's like AOES is just showing who's boss in this game. Team Detonation, I feel like they have taken a huge hit to their morale. They only have 1 round in this half right now, and only 2 rounds remain to get to the second half, and this is going to be quite hard for them to deal with. We do see Yunseng, he is going to be watching a very tight angle over here, while okay, he seems to actually trying to go for the push, and he will be able to get the first frag onto Kurtzy, and he is going to be retreating right now. But no, we do see one more player is going to go down. Detonation is going to be going down. Puss is going to be getting the kill onto Vision, and Yunseng is going to get punished for that aggressive play by Vanquisher, and things have suddenly turned out to be very even for the side of Team Detonation, but their positioning is a little bit too spread apart. We see Puss is going to be pushing on to Bananas, and he is going to be backed up by the bomber right there.
I really felt like they could have gone for an A, because that's just going to be 1% person out there from Team AOES, so that could have been the play which Team Technation would have been looking for a while, but I don't think that is going to be the case. But if Puss is going to get the guy who is at Bananas, which happens to be Sephoros, they can probably go on for B as well, because at this point of time, Team AOEs have clearly no idea that where the team of Technation are going to go and make the plant, because all they have is about 35 seconds. So even if they are going to rotate at this moment, they need to make sure that they are going to spot the guy at A, which happens to be Kelvin, if I suppose. As let's see how that's going to happen, because Vanquisher as well as his teammates are making their way on to mid, and they have already made their way on to... Oh, that's going to be two guys out there who Kelvin has spotted. He has spotted the bomber as well. That's... Oh my god, that could have been a kill out there, and that clearly was not. He was able to damage him for about 90 HP, but that clearly was not the case, as the spray transfer clearly not working out in his favor. But then they still could try this, because AOEs are just about one man down, and this could probably be another retake on their favor, because they've got a smoke, a molly as well as a flash, so they could make the most of it. Let's see how that's going to work out. However, because we see Sephoros making his way from library, but he clearly has not spotted any of them at this point of time. We see a guy right on top of side whom he has spotted, and let's see whether he can take him out. The call has been given that there are a couple of guys at side and the other one at pit, so let's see how that's going to work out. But that clearly is not going to work out in the favor of Team AOE, as Technation have got this around the second round in this game at a lead. I mean, this is something which should have come quite a long time ago, but I really am surprised how they were not able to get this around Team AOE.
Well, I would
the
actually...
Oppo was able to get those two frags right on to the start of the game.
Well, I would actually give the reason why Detonation actually won that round was because Yunseng was playing that a little bit too aggressive. I feel like once he got those two frags, he could have actually retreated and, you know, played a little bit of space. But no, he actually went for the peak once more and got punished by Vanquisher. And we are going to be looking at round number 14 right now. 11-2 in the favor of Team AOES. And Rosne, he is going to go down, as Yunseng is going to be getting that first frag right there. Z7A is going to try to go for a push over at mid. He is not really up to anything right now. He's probably, you know, trying to prime up some of his utilities, trying to, you know, make some space, create a distraction or something, as the push is going to be made over at apartments. The bomber is still going to be playing this a little bit slower. It looks like Team Detonation, they really don't know what angle to, you know, focus on, because the defense being made by Yunseng is not something they want to deal against. And see that the usage of utilities that AOES is doing, they know that a bunch of people are there over at apartments, so they're just going to be delaying that push by throwing down those incendiaries, you know, throwing down a bunch of flashes. And we see it right here. Detonation, as usual, they are going to be pushed back, you know, trying to rotate back over at B, but little do they know that there is going to be one more person over at Bananas.
It's actually going to be the only person out there at Bananas, so that's going to be a freebie if they are going to take him out, as they have a clear idea there is a person out there. That happens to be Sephoros, and let's see how that's going to work out. He sees a lot of people coming out there. The nade is going to get primed up. He makes his way. He puts the smoke as well, and the call has been given out. We see a couple of guys coming out there from the CD side, and let's see how this is going to work out, as the flash is going to blind a couple of them from the T side. The molly coming up there, delaying them for just a bit, but 15 seconds is all they have. The utilities being used, the smokes have been thrown as well. This is a point of no return for Team Detonation, as they need to make the plant at this time. 5 seconds is what is going to remain for them, but I don't think they can do anything out here. All they can do right now is just going to save, and that is clearly not going to be the case, as AOE is get another round to their bag, and this is turning out to be a nightmare for Team Detonation, because even though they have their executions on point, but they're not able to find the time out there, and the superior use of utilities coming out there from the CD side is adding them to their misery.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that incendiary being thrown from CTs, making sure that they can't really go ahead and push and plant the bomb, since they only had around 10 seconds left. That really played out in their favor. And also the defense being made, the guy who actually rotated from CT to construction, he got those 3 kills, those 3 frags, adding insult upon injury, because he got those 3 frags after you know, the game actually got over, after they actually won that round.
But then this is right good play coming out there from Sephoros. He's going to take a couple of kills out there, but then he's going to get taken down again. But that's a quite good play coming out there from the CD side, just still pushing and adding more, you know, insult to the injury, like you know. said. But then it's going to be Kelvin who's going to get 2, and he's going to even it right now. It's going to be a 2-on-2, and as he's making his way onto T base. But then the T's have already made their way onto A side, so this could be a game for them. This could be a round. This could be a round which they would be looking for to close the first half and probably start afresh from the second one. The bomb has been planted as well, so all they need to do is just play down time, something which they had been they had been facing when they were trying to go for the plant. But now I think this could be their round at this point of time, as Kelvin is the only guy alive. He's about full HP, but then he's got to get 2 guys out there. He does know that there is a guy out pit, and he's just waiting to make some he was just waiting to get them unsettled, but that clearly was not the case, as Lazy was going to get this round, and that is going to be another round there for the T side, as they are closing this half with a win. But then they are trailing behind the 9 rounds.
This is 12 and 3, man. Like, this is a huge difference right here. 9-round difference, actually. So let's actually see what Team Detonation have over at the CT side, because I guess their performance over at the T's not really a good performance, because they were crumbling under the pressure. The aggressive play style that AOES was doing. I mean, guess
everyone in particular. I mean, it wasn't just about 1 or 2 guys. We saw Kelvin with about 17 kills out there. We see Vision as well as Youngsek. Youngsek was pretty dominant with the AWP. He was able to get those mid picks and everything to his favor, and that clearly was, he was more like anti-fragging at the time, so that was really helping their case. And let's see how that's going to work out right now, because we see about 3 of them from the CD side making their way on a B, while they are making the rotations. The bomb, as well as a couple of guys from the T side, is at Bananas. And let's see whether they are planning for a push at B, because they're pretty slow at this point of time. They are trying to make sure that Team Detonation are going to make some mistakes, which Team AOES can make them pay for. But then it's going to be Curtsy who's going to get the first kill in this round. And Lazy is going to spot a lot of them. So the call has been given. The bomb has been dropped as well. Lazy is going to get 1. He can probably get a couple of more of them as well. And let's see how this is going to work out. He gets both of them. And all of a sudden it's going to be a 5-on-1. And it's going to be Vision who's going to be the last guy alive. And that is going to be the first round for Team Detonation in the second half. Something which they would be looking forward to in the upcoming rounds. And that's going to be a lot of money coming in for them as well for the next 2 rounds. So if they are going to win the next one at this point of time, they can probably try to get their road on to come back. And let's see how that's going to work out. I would say that was a good play coming out there from Lazy.
That could have actually gone a lot better for AOES, because we saw the one guy who was actually pushing over at apartments. He started running, and then suddenly he just backed off while walking, so he did not really make any noise, and that actually forced a rotation from Team Detonation. But sadly, as they were trying to push over at B, they could not really get those entry frags, and since they lost that first person who was actually trying to make the push, it was getting a little bit hard for them. And we do see right now AOES 3 people over at B. The bomb has been left over at T base, and that is gonna force out a bunch of rotations from Detonation right here. We see 3 people over near the A side, and the B side, while 2 people, they're not really over at A side. They're just gonna be playing near arches, making sure that the rotation can be made if needed. And we see all the 5 players from the side of Team AOES. They are going to be huddling up together over at Banana. So if any utilities are going to be used, say perhaps an HE grenade or something, that could go tremendously wrong right now. And we do see the push is going to be made right here. AOES's Revenge X is going to be getting the first kill. He is going to be going for the second one right now. And this has suddenly turned out into a really bad situation. The B side is going to be free right here. Kelvin is going to be planting the bomb. Derosne, he's going to be making his push from the construction area. 2 people are going to be playing over from Dark right now, and let's actually see how this is going to be working out. Puss is going to be making the push right here. Derosne is going to be getting a kill. No, actually he's going to go for the untimely reload, as Kelvin and Yunsek, they are going to be laying down the herd for Team Detonation as all of them go down. So 3 people from the side of Team AOE survive, and they are going to be getting all of those rifles which
that's going to be free AUGs for the T side, which was, the point of concern for them a round ago, because they lost the first round. So it was about the plant, and they got that right, and they made sure that the retake was not being able to get by Detonation.
Yeah, they couldn't let them execute that, and this is suddenly turned out into the favors of AOES, because we see we see
a couple of scouts, while the CTs are right on to the eco round at this point of time, because they really can't afford to do anything right after this, because 13-4 is a scoreline which they can probably try to eco it at this point of time. But one more is not going to work out for them. We see a stack coming out there. We see a 4-man stack at B side, while Puss is the only guy at A, and looks though as if the stack is at the right place at the right time, because I think they were going to go for a B, but then we see the bomber as well as a couple of guys from the T side making their way onto apartments as mid as well. And I think if About Puss is going to go and make it into a B, or if he's going to go on to CT, that's really not going to work his way, as the Hechi is going to prime up onto Puss, and that's going to give him about 21 damage as well. So that's going to be some valuable information for the CT side, that a couple of them are going to make their way on to A, but clearly it looks though as if the CTs are unfazed about that, as none of them have started to rotate, and only now they have a clear idea that the bomb is going to go on to P, as Puss was giving that information at this point of time. They probably are trying to go for the retake, but that really is not going to work into their favor, because Revengex is going to get one, and all the sides have been guarded at this point of time. So it's really going to be really hard for the CT side to go and make the retake. The scouts as well as the AUGs out there at mid as well as apartments are going to make sure that they are going to get paid at this point of time. So it's going to be a 5-on-2 at this moment. Make that a 5-on-1, as Vision is going to get that, and they take out everyone without losing anyone.
Like, that was a really good play which was made by Team AOVS, because we saw a lot of noise being made over at Bananas, and I guess the fact which made sure that Detonation really did not rotate, or they took that long to rotate, was because they actually threw down a smoke over at B site, and that actually led Detonation to believe that they are going to be executing B slowly, and that really was not the case. And even if what the player who was on the A side did manage to spot out the player from AOVS, he really did not think that that was going to be a serious push. They thought that it was going to be a bait or something.
Exactly, and that really worked their way in this round, in that round. And let's see how that's going to do right now, because if you're going to see at the economy right now, the T side are really superior with, you know, with a lot of backup. They have at least about 2 to 3 grand with them. And while we are going to look at the CD side, we see Puss, who has spotted a guy right onto Banana. So if he's able to just try to take him out, that could be something, at least a morale boost at this point of time. Because if you're going to look at the economy of what they have, they really don't have more than about $350 or $400, and that's going to be Revengex who's going to go down. He's going to get, I mean, he's going to get about 2 kills out there. It's going to be the Rosne as well as Puss who are going to go down as they are making their way on a B. They are really in this mood to close this game as soon as possible, as they are making their way on a CT as well. The bomb is going to get planted at B, and it's going to be Revengex who's going to get his third. He probably would be setting his eyes on an ace at this moment, and as he is making his way on a library, there is a guy at library as well as arches. Let's see how it's going to work out. He is going to spot out Lazy. He is going to get him as well. It's going to be a 4K for him. Can he get a 5th at this point of time? They are actually giving him the location so that he can probably go and get his ace. Let's see whether he can do it, and yes, he does. That's going to be an ace. That's the way how you sign off this round. That's going to be the T side making their way onto the match point, I would say.
Yeah, and this is quite hard right there. And you saw that even though Yunsek was the first to fall right there, Revengex, he played that meticulously. He knew that since 2 people were there over at Bananas, maybe they thought, okay, since those 2 people who were supposed to be defending B are so close to Bananas, maybe that's all the people they have. And that actually led to AOVS to actually go ahead and push and, you know, plant that bomb. And Revengex, he was not done with that. He made sure that, you know, there was going to be a rotation, so he was going to be there to defend that.
But then this time around, we see all the CDs having just about SMGs as well as teammates and a scout, but then Sephora's and his teammates are making their way on a B, and Revengex is also going to come out there, as the bomb is going to get planted right now, and it's just going to be Lazy who has to do this thing, because 15-4 is the scoreline. He's got to take down 5 people. Can he actually do that? He's going to take one. He can probably take another one as well, but that clearly is not the case. And Vision is going to get that kill, and that is going to be the round as well as the match for the T side, who happen to be AOES. What a play coming out there from them. 16-4. Quite an impeccable scoreline, and all of them played really well. All of them were able to get a KDR of at least more than 1.5, which is quite commendable. The way they have been playing, the way their play style was, it was quite aggressive as well.
Like, they were so cooperative, and the communication between all of the players from the side of AOES, it was so good. And also the bait tactics. The bait tactics were actually the ones which just sold AOES to me, because you saw it right there, the way that they tried to force the rotations from the side of Detonation, and most of the time it actually worked.
Exactly.
Because you would think, okay, maybe they did that bait once, that might not work again, but no, it kept on working, and I feel like Detonation, they just got a little bit debated most of the time.
I wouldn't really say that they got debated. Maybe it was the case, but then I really, commend the way they had been playing, the way the CTs were able to call out the shots, the way the strategies were working out, and most importantly, the utilities which they were able to be used.
Oh, the Molotovs made at the right moments, making sure
Exactly.
that
If you actually realize about 3 or 4 rounds where Detonation were playing as the Ts, they were not able to make the plant right on time because of the mollies as well as the nades, which were actually, stopping their push onto the bomb site. Because we saw about that they were able to drop the bomb only at the site. They were not able to make the plant just about when they have
and
about
even if
4 or 5 seconds left. They were getting shot at. So that's something which they really need to work on. It was hard luck for this. It was a hard game for them, and I think that clearly was not their game, I would say.
well, that was an interesting game of CS:GO. Not as exciting as it was yesterday, but I guess all the debates being made by AOVS was still a very fun thing to watch. And I guess they are going to be qualifying for the next round. And let's actually see how they will be performing later on into this tournament. And ladies and gentlemen, if you liked AOVS's performance and you want to see them perform a lot more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you guys know when these guys are going to be playing next. You're also going to be getting notifications of other games, but if you don't like them, still watch them because esports is a thing, and I guess esports is the best form of entertainment right now.
I mean, yes,
I've
you
seen
see
a lot
of
fake news.
exactly. You
Not
see a
fake.
lot of viewership and all of that for all these majors and every other tournament coming out there in the esports titles. So that's something which has been on the works for about a lot of years, and I think there's more to come. Just like how things are happening in this year, I think we would be expecting a better year next year as well in terms of all these competitions coming out there.
Especially for the Southeast Asian region, because as you said, there are about 2 or 3 teams from SEA who really perform well in the global stage, but we have not nurtured a lot more talents, and we see it right here. We see a lot of talents right here playing in this tournament, and I believe they can go forward and play and perform in the global stage a lot more. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys just tuned into the stream a little bit late and you guys don't really know what we are talking about, I guess we don't know what we are talking about either. But if you guys feel the same, go ahead and watch the highlights, which are going to be streamed right now after a short commercial break, because we are going to be coming back for First Shot CSGO tournament, and that is going to be quite an amazing game of CSGO.
My friend, I am tired of this talk AK, man. But it still does the job though, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to Playtonia.com, man? Play what? My friend, I am tired of this talk AK, man. But it still does the job though, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to Playtonia.com, man? Play what?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Olber, also known as Siddharth Prashant, and joining me for the second game of CSGO is going to be...
This is Tangenberg, also known as Sriram Vishal, and we are here for some CSGO action. The second game of today's tournament, the first shot CSGO tournament brought to you by Playtonia, which is open for the SEA teams with a whopping prize pool of $2,400.
And you know what? The game today was actually very interesting. It was not as neck to neck as it was yesterday, but we did manage to see a lot of interesting plays being made. Something which I kept telling before the stream resumed was about the debate play which was being made by Team AOE. You could see the quality of gameplay that they actually bought, and I don't really know why Detonation got baited that many times, but it still felt like, I have to give credit where it's due. Team AOE played that extremely well, and we are going to be getting...
wasn't just about the plays coming out there from AOE or AOEs, or the bad plays coming out there from Detonation. The strats were on point, but the problem was that they were clearly not able to manage their time, and most of the times when they were on the T side, they were not able to get the plans on the right time, which clearly was not helping their case, and which clearly was not getting them rounds, and due to which their economy was pretty bad. It was in shambles, to be honest.
Like the first round.
One thing was that the CTs were able to make the most of it. The mollies and the utilities were on point, and maybe that is one of the reasons why they were superior in that game, and that pretty much summed up that game. That the team with the better utilities and better usage of utilities was prevalent in the previous game, and I hope that something like that would not be repeating itself in today's game, which happens to be between Team Dark Horse and Vanquish Valkyries.
Valkyrie, by the way.
Valkyries.
Yeah, so Vanquish Valkyries and Dark Horse, I guess they are going to be showing us a really amazing game of CSGO. The fact that Southeast Asian players right now are getting a lot more limelight than they were getting, say, 2 or 3 years ago. That is helping out the CSGO scene in Southeast Asia a lot. This being, one of the more prominent online tournaments which has been hosted in quite a long time. I believe the last big tournament, Tango, do you remember that?
I mean, yes, if you're going to look at this kind of tournament, you don't find a lot of tournaments with a whopping prize pool of this, what we have been giving out.
Especially for an online tournament, while you could just, play from the comfort of your home. Not really a lot of people giving a prize pool of this magnitude, because $2,400, it seems, quite low. But when you do realize that, okay, it's not any other, it's Singapore, it's not Singaporean dollars or anything else, it's US dollars, and that is quite a lot of money for an online tournament. And
no, but they get the point. It's just going to be that a lot of good SEA teams are going to fight for it, and not just for the prize pool, but also for the bragging rights as well, because that's how the competition is between the SEA teams at this point of time. Because as I have been saying that before, I still echo that the SEA teams have been, they've been giving dominant shows in not just
the global scene,
not
also.
just the regional tournaments, but even the global scene. You see the previous majors and how teams like Tailu as well as Vici Gaming have been playing in the last few majors as well as the last season was really quite a show to watch, because that is the kind of inspiration which the SEA teams right now will be requiring. Because when you're going to look at teams and the scene, you would always go on for the EU or the NA. I mean, NA just about recently in terms of CSGO, but
NA, Europe, and the CIS region also.
Exactly.
Virtus Pro, they were showing a really good I guess once Virtus Pro actually disbanded.
I mean, yes, Virtus Pro have been one of the legends back then.
I feel like all of their energy is just spreading about over the Southeast Asian region because as soon as a few of the teams which were really prominent over in CS:GO, the NA and Europe teams, as as a really good example, I would say.
I'll be honest with you, there aren't much of any.
Okay, yeah, NACS is shit.
All.
Okay,
No.
not shit, but
It can't be shit when you have a NACS team winning a major. So that's
Okay.
something which I would like to point out there. That
all right then. All right, I'm just gonna give credits where it's due. I am still a South American CS:GO kind of guy, even though they haven't performed that.
South American teams haven't performed well, is what you're trying to say.
No, I mean
comparatively, our
comparatively.
friend clearly hasn't heard about MIBR or
comparatively.
SK Gaming out here, and we are heading back to the game right now as we're going to see the game between
Dark Horse
and Vanquish,
and they're going to be playing Train.
I mean, yes, I was expecting something like Nuke or Train anytime soon, but I didn't expect it to be so quick. Because
Nobody
I
would
expected
expect
those kind of games, those
in a
kind of
best of
maps
three.
coming out there in a BO3 or something like that. Because that's clearly not, I would say, not a lot of teams would want to go on to Train or Nuke. Because I would say, except for the top tier teams coming out there in this tournament, I'd say like most of the teams will, be a little hesitant coming out there. So I feel like Train is something I have been waiting for.
It's a different color for the palette, which we have been watching all along. As you said, Train, usually it's one of those maps which particular teams really specialize in. To take a really good example in the Indian scene, I believe JHS was one of the more prominent teams which really specialized in this map especially, and I guess that is some weapon which you would pull out in your arsenal in a best of 3 scenario.
No,
but
I mean, not just that, but ideally when you are going to master more maps, that's actually going to add to your pool. So that's something which all the teams will be looking forward to, because it's pretty obvious that you will always have about 2 or 3 maps which are in your arsenal, and if those maps are going to get banned, you always need to have a backup option or something like that, and that's something which is quite important in a game like CS:GO, because it's not like the other games where you just have the same map and you just keep playing that for the best of 5 or something like that.
And both of these teams are from Malaysia, and we are going to be seeing the last person joining for Vanquish Valkyries. So this is going to be quite a treat to watch, because Train does not really have the similar kind of gameplay which you see usually in a map like Cash or Mirage, because not Mirage, sorry, Cash and Inferno, because mid control is something which you really emphasize in maps like those. But in a map like Train, where the side which you actually pick is going to be determining how good your chances of victory is going to be, because the terrorist side, they do have an advantage if they're going to be picking that, and CTs have advantages depending on the situations.
I mean, I really feel that I think Dark Horse should be able to, I feel like Dark Horse should be, playing Train pretty well, because that happened to be their pick, as they just had about 2 options in the end, and they had to pick about Train in that. So I feel like I would be expecting...
Of all the options, they picked Train, so I guess you're thinking that these guys have an idea.
That could be their map. So I feel like it's too early to even predict that there might be a team who will be winning this out of these 2, because it's just about time where we are going to see that, because I really can't. When it comes to predictions, I usually take a stand. I just take about a team in.
Well, I guess I will make my stand right now, since Dark Horse went all out of their way to actually pick a map like Train, which is not that commonly played in the pub game, so not a lot of players will have experience. I guess the scoreline is gonna be somewhere around the single digits for Vanquish, and I certainly think that obviously Dark Horse is gonna be winning this game, because that is their pick. But let's actually see, because banning and picking maps is not really a one-way thing. Even Vanquish decided to let Train pass by, so I guess even they might be a little comfortable with it. But since Dark Horse did pick this map, I am going to be putting my coin on this team.
I mean, even I have to say that Dark Horse is one of the most reputed teams and one of the top teams in Malaysia as well. So I think that's something which a lot of teams will be looking into while they are playing against them, to play it really safe and make sure that there's no margin for error while you play a game like this, especially against one of the top tier teams of Malaysia. So I'm really I'm just waiting to see what is going to happen because we are going to be live with the knife round at this moment. So what do you think is going to happen?
Well,
Who do you
if I
think is
actually win the knife round myself, I would try to go and pick the T side. Mostly because I guess the aggression which could be made, like to put it in better words, I believe that this map rewards you for being really aggressive, unlike other maps where you can get punished pretty easily. And we are going to be seeing the knife round being underway right here. And nobody is really dinked anyone right now, but we are going to be seeing the first casualty right here. Natsu is going to be going down as Bobble's axe is going to be getting the kill. And I guess Dark Horse is just demolishing Vanquish Valkyrie right here. And let's actually see if they're going to be staying or if they're going to be
They're
swapping
actually
their sides.
gonna switch.
I don't think they are.
They are not going to switch. Yes.
Yeah, they're going to be playing from the CD side. So I guess that is, a one coin for you over here because a little bit of my prediction not going the way. And the warm-up is going to end and we are going to be getting into the pistol round right now. So let's see if, let's see how this is going to be panning out right here.
I really feel that if Vanquish are going to get the pistol round, they could probably get the momentum on their favor, and they could probably get the next 2 rounds. Because in a game like Train, it's just about you just have about 2 or 3 ways where you can get onto site, and there's a lot of cover out there, except for the side trains, and apart from that, you have a ample cover out there, so you can probably play it out really safe, and a lot of closed doors outside, and that's how the map is. And let's see how this is going to work out. We actually see a lot of people from the T side making their way on their course onto SL as well as B. Let's see how that's going to work out for them. We already see one person out there at SL. He's already made his way down the ladder, while Adish as well as his teammates are just spotting, trying to spot out guys who are coming out there from outer. Let's see how that's going to work out for them, as Fate is going to spot down one person out there. He is trying to get that kill onto them, while there are a couple of guys coming out there from lower, and let's see how that's going to work out, as he is going to make his way outside SL, and that is going to meet he's going to meet his Fate, as Bubbles Axe is going to take him down, and Fate is going to spot out the guy who is coming on a B side. But then the bomb is still not spotted, or he just spots him right now, and let's see how that's going to work out. That's going to be 2 kills out there, make that 3, and that is going to be the round for Dark Horse.
That is a very clean round. Dark Horse did not really lose anyone in that, and that is obviously a lot of money getting denied for the side of Vanquish Valkyries, because kills do reward you with a little bit of money. And also adding insult upon injury, you did see they did not plant the bomb also. So
I actually thought that they would go for the plant, but that clearly was not the case, because I feel like they had some time to at least go for a plant, because probably if they had a smoke or something like that, and when you are in a map like Train, you can probably use that to your advantage, because you don't have a lot of places where which is open in the sides, and you can actually use those trains to your cover, and probably a smoke out there could have helped them go for the plant, but that clearly was not the case, as we are going to see Vanquish making their way out here at the ladder room, and let's see how it's going to work out for them. The bomber is still right behind them, and he's making his way right onto T-base, and we actually see a 3-1-2 setup coming out there from Dark Horse, and let's see how that's going to work out right now, as the bomber as well as LQ-Man are making their way I guess towards B, maybe, because
yeah, Bubbles Axe just got killed right now, and the Click is just going to be holding the ladder rune right here, and we do see LQ-Man. He is going to be able to get the kill onto Fight, but Enable is going to be getting that return kill onto Natsu. The bomb is going to be on site right now, and
but then it's going to be Click who's making his way on the backside, but Feki is going to spot that out. He's going to get one, but then he's going to get traded out there by Click, and the bomb has been planted as well, and Click has a clear idea that there is a guy right on site, and so does the other guy out there, which happens to be LQ-Man, but he's going to take him down with that 1D right onto his head, which is going to leave Enable going to be the only one alive for Dark Horse, while he's going to face 2 guys out there from the T-Tag, and he's going to get one, and he could probably get another one as well. He's right on top of the train, and he is going to spot him out and take him down as well, but does he have time? That is the question. But then he gets the defuse kit from his teammate, and I guess he has enough time to make the defuse, and that's going to be one more round coming in favor of Dark Horse. A neat round coming out there, even though they lost a lot of people. It was not, really down to the wire when it came to the defuse and all of that. But then I really felt like the retakes are pretty much good, as well as the defense coming out there from the CT side, which is enabling them to get those trades, like how we just saw that. And I feel that is something which they are really strong at, given the way they have been performing. And just look at that, the 1v2 coming out there at the right time, and he was able to get the defuse courtesy of the defuse kit coming out there from his teammate.
And that was quite a really good play from Dark Horse, because the guy who actually made it happen was the only one with a rifle in his team.
And we are going to see a buy, interesting buy coming out there for the CT side. We see a Max 7 coming out there from Hika. And I think they are right now in the mood for farming some money, because that's going to give you a lot of money when you're going to get a kill from the Max 7 as well as the other shotgun. So how is that going to pan off? It's just about time how we are going to see that, as I think Hika 1 is about just going to get about a couple of kills right now if the T's are going to try to bait it out or something like that, because he is going to jiggle pick out there. Izzy is going to get back and he is going to test the patience of Hika 1, and he is trying to get one. He is going to tag him for about 80 HP, but he's going to go down as well. The 5 AKs coming out there is going to really add them to the pressure, and that's going to be 1 kill for each of the teams as they are standing 4 on 4 at this point of time. As we see that
that was a very sad grenade.
Actually,
yeah,
I mean, I thought that would be going out, but that clearly was not the case.
And we see Click, he is going to be getting the kill onto Yeezy right now with that AUG, just holding down the ladder room. And, this is a really good position. I thought that the guy with the Max 7 would actually be playing this, but I guess you can be wrong a lot of these times. And we do see Click, he is going to get spotted out right now. He's not going to be taking that much damage, but he does tag Natsu for a lot, so he needs to be careful. I guess he is going to try to go for an aggressive push, as Feki and his friends are going to be making their way on site right here. But no, LQ Man is going to be there to make sure that, they're not going to die a vain death, as Click, he's going to be making the long rotation all the way from ladder room and gets that kill onto LQ Man.
I mean, that was a good play coming out there. He was able to spot out the muzzle coming out there at the guy right on top of the SL. And that actually gave him a clear idea that there is a guy right in front. And he was able to make the rotation coming out there from ladder room, as well as getting on to B and getting the last guy, which happened to be LQ Man. The bomb would not be planted at that round, which is going to add to the misery, as they are actually forcing it out onto pistols, which is going to leave them in a fix right now, because it's actually not going to cause them dear, because if you're going to look at the economy, it's not that bad. While even this is just the 4th round, and I think even if they are going to go for pistols, we just see a couple of guys going with armor, and I think
no
that's
utilities
a pretty,
at all.
Exactly, that's a pretty decent round coming out there for Vanquish, and I think that's pretty evident that they are just trying to save it out and make sure that they are trying to get the picks so that they can get the guns, because that is supposed to be the priority for them, as they need to get that plant. And we see Fakey getting that gun out there, the AUG coming out there, but Hika is going to make sure that that is going to be of no use, as they are right now in their 4 on 4, as LQ Man's going to get that 1D again onto Bubbles Axe as they are making their way on Ivy, but there's going to be Hika who's going to take another one out there. He's going to get 3 right now. The AUG kills coming out right and handy for them, as Fade is going to get the last 2 out there, and that is a really good round coming out there in the favor of Dark Horse, as they are piling on to their misery.
Yeah, like victory upon victory. They're just like landing all of these rounds pretty easily. The only round I believe that they had trouble in was the 2nd round, where Vanquish Valkyries got all of them just bought deagles, and that was something which they did not really deal well against, but they did manage to win that round by a hair's breadth. So that did work out in their favor. But on the upcoming rounds, as you see, whenever Vanquish Valkyries don't really have a lot to work with, the only guy who falls down for Dark Horse is going to be Bobbles X, and the rest of them are there to give the space which is required to actually make the defense happen. And we see Vanquish Valkyries, they are going to be pushing over the back of B, and we see LQ Man, he is going to be able to spot out one person, but sadly he's not going to be able to get that kill. But no, Yeezy is going to be making the jump on the guy who's going to be defending ladder room, and he is going to that is
almost going to fall to his
HP.
death, but then just 1 HP is all he has right now. But then he's actually done enough damage out there, getting out a couple of guys from SL, as it's going to be Artist who's going to get 1 as well. So that's going to be Fade who is going to spot him out and take him down as well. But that the bomber is going to make his way on the B side. But then Fakey is going to be the guy who is going to help him out and make sure that the bomb could be planted at this point of time, as the wall bang coming out there is going to get 1 more kill onto the T's favor, as Click is making his way right on top of the train, and let's see whether he can spot out the guys from the T side. He is going to spot out the guy who was the bomber, and he's going to go down as well, and all of a sudden it's going to be a 2 on 1, and Click is the guy with 1 HP, mind you, as a single shot coming out there from the pistol could do the job for their team. But then it's going to be Dark Horse who are impeccable when it comes to the retakes, as they get 1 more defuse onto their way, 1 more round, and more money coming in their favor.
And that was, a really good play being made by Click right there. Even though, the bomb was getting planted right there, and you have to give credit for its due. Feki did manage to get those really those two frags very quickly, and that did, eventually allow his team to get that bomb plant. But Dark Horse, their retake game, as you said, is just a little bit too much for Vanquish Valkyrie to
But
deal
then
with.
let's see how this is going to pan out, because we're going to see a couple of ops coming out there from Team Dark Horse, and let's see how they are going to line up, because this is quite surprising. Probably one opper might be at B side while the other one might be watching it from connectors, because that's something which is quite ideal. And let's see how it's going to work out, and it's going to be Enable who's going to take out Feki close to him through that wall bang, and it's going to be Click who is trying to get that aggressive push, but that is not going to go in his favor, as it goes in vain, as LQ Man's going to get one, as Hika is going to get Natsu as well with the help of the op. And rightly said, he is watching the T ramp, the T
Yeah, he's going to be watching
through that
the connectors.
op from connectors right on to the boost, taking out there the flash, literally blinding him for a second, and that is going to allow the T's to make their way on to outer. And let's see how that's going to work out for them. The smoke coming out there is going to try to cause us a distraction, but he is going to get spotted out there from LQ Man, and that's going to be 2 kills coming out there from C side. LQ Man is going to get one more as well, so all of a sudden it's going to be a 1-on-2, and it's going to be Enable and the Opper against LQ Man. Let's see whether he can do something about that, because there is a guy at IV and the other guy is at site, and how is that going to work out for the T side, because all he has is about 35 seconds, and he's making his way. He has taken the bomb. He's trying to go and make his way onto IV, probably trying to spot out the guy at IV and maybe even go on to B, because that is something he can do if he has the time. But if you're going to look at the time, he's just got about 20 seconds.
Yeah, if he makes any noise, I think it's
like
very easy for Dark Horse to, go back and defend the site inside. So this is going to be quite hard for him to deal with. I guess he is just trying to save his AWP.
I mean, actually, he's going to go for the plant, I guess, because both of them are not even close to each other. And that could be a plant, and that could probably be some money coming in their favor. And that is going to be a plant for them. But at what cost has he done that? That's going to be one op going down. And probably if they have some enough money for them, they could probably buy one. But I don't think that is going to be the case. Even though they have planted the bomb, they're not going to get more than about five grand out there. Just about LQ Man is going to get that, and probably he could not be buying that for the sake of going it without the armor, because that's pretty much useless when you're going to go. When you're going to take out the op without armor, probably that could be some pressure time or something like that. Maybe you just want to go and get that op shots coming out there, and he could probably do that. But I don't think it's quite advisable to do that at this point of time. He got 3 to 4 good shots coming out there, but he was able to get the plant right on time to get them at least some kind of money that they could probably go on for 5
Yeah,
AKs.
better have 5 AKs than just 1 AWP, right? And I guess even though they all have 5 AKs and armors, their utility game is also looking pretty good. But no, Feki is just going to be painting my words wrong, as he's going to be getting the kill. He's going to get killed by Enable over there at ladder roof. LQ Man is going to be jumping down. He gets the return kill on that person. And LQ Man, he is going to be pushing right now, and he needs to be careful. He's going to be hiding behind the electrical, and I guess that is not going to be working out right now. Bobblezax is going to be playing from near Ivy, so let's see how this is going to be working out.
I mean, that was actually a good try coming out there from LQ Man. He was able to try to get the trade on that. Both the times he was able to get the trade, one at SL as well as the other one right on to Ivy. And a good shot coming out there from Fade from his CZ. He's going to get that round again for them. So it's going to be really hard for Vanquish to get this back, especially when they are at T's, because right now they are facing a deficit of about 7 rounds, which is not really going to help their favor, which is not really going to help them in terms of their economy as well as their morale. So this is about time where they try to break the flow. They try to break the momentum, I would say. If about a round or two is something which they get at this point of time, they could probably, try to turn the tables and put the pressure back on to Dark Horse, because that is something which they should be doing right now. They don't have a lot of time remaining for them to get the comeback, or at least a 3 or 4 rounds at this point of time. And maybe if they're not actually going to get the rounds right on time, they can probably get a timeout and see where they went wrong, because it's about time they do that, because if it's now, if it's not now, it's going to be never, because that's how Dark Horse have been playing at this point of time. They're playing it really well. They're even playing it aggressive. The Opper coming out there, he is watching the T entrance out there, and let's see how that's going to work out. They are forced onto their pistols, and we just see one AK on the form of at LQ Man's hand, and let's see how that's going to work out for them. We see about 2 guys from Dark Horse making their way on a B, while Yeezy is going to try to take down Click, and he successfully does that with the help of that Eagle right onto his head, and let's see how it's going to work out. They're making their way on a B. Bombo as well is going to make his way out there. Enable's going to spot one, and he knows that there are a couple of guys right over there, and he's going to get about 2 kills, and so is going to be Fade, and that's going to be one more round there for Dark Horse. What a play coming out there, and what communication and teamwork. Just look at that. Easy was clearly having Click to his mercy. He could just pull the trigger anytime he wanted to, and he made sure that he had all the time on earth to get it right onto his head, and he got that deagle right onto his head.
And this is looking to be quite dire for Vanquish Valkyrie. They did have 1 AK in the previous round, and we see LQ Man, he was the only one who had the gun, but right now he doesn't. Everybody except him does, and we do see Yizzy going a little bit aggressive over at the A side, and we do see Feki, he's going to be able to get the kill onto Hika 1, so that is going to be the AWPer over at Connectors. He is going to be going down, and we do see Enable is also going to be going down right there. Yizzy is going to be able to get the kill, but no, Yizzy will not be able to trade over there, as Bobblesax is going to be able to get that kill onto Yizzy. The Incendiary is getting primed up right now, so they're going to be making sure that the A bomb site is not going to go down without a fight. Bobblesax is going to be playing near Ivy from the tunnels, and we do see him actually getting the kill, so he is going to be going to push forward. Adesh, though, he is going to be in a really good position. He does take a lot of damage, though, so he is going to go down, but Picky is going to be able to get that kill, and Click is going to be there, making sure the bomb plant is not going to happen. That is going to be one more round going the way of Team Dark Horse.
And also, they were able to pick up the AWP coming out there, which was dropped by his teammate, by the way, and that's going to be more, that's going to be more pressure onto the T side, because it's clearly not going in their favor, and I think it's about time they take a pause and sort it out about what is going wrong, because they are able to get onto site, but then they are not able to get the plans coming out there. So I think this is something which should be ringing into their head right now, and probably they should be working on it, because right now you look at the economy again, it's not really worth worth a full buy at this point of time. I mean, they did go for a full buy, but then when you're going to look at the economy, if they are going to lose this round, it's not going to help them out for the next 2 rounds at least, as Hika is going to get the first frag onto Yizzy, and he just misses the other guy out there who just went past him right before he could scope it down. And let's see how it's going to work out, as Feki as well as his teammate are waiting right above the SL room to see if Enable is going to make some kind of mistake. But if you're going to look at the last 2 rounds, it was actually the guys in CT who were able to get the guys at SL, which clearly was not working in Vanquish's favor. The Molly coming out there is going to trap Adish out there, making sure that the guy should be exiting that place from Ivy, and I think Hika had knowledge about that due to that Molly which he had.
It was not knowledge, they just steered him over there. They just threw the Molly,
the
puppeteered
Molly
him.
was able to, they just were able to make
they were
him
playing
dance
him.
to his tune.
They were playing that. They were playing him to actually, not being able to retreat, closing off his point of retreat. And we do see Natsu right here. He has an AK. He is going to be going for the shot. He does almost miss most of those. And sadly, on his way to retreat, he is going to get killed up by Enable. That could have gone wrong so fast. But, sadly, he was able to get that kill. And that is going to mean that, they are going to be getting a little bit more money. Not really a lot, not really something which can make a difference in the upcoming rounds, but they need to make sure that they make the plays happen in the next round, because if they lose that, I don't think they can recover from this game.
I mean, just look at that.
Zero money.
The CTs have enough money to buy out the next round at least, even if they are going to lose. I mean, I feel like they can buy out about a couple of rounds right now from here, even if they lose the next 2 of them. And that's how the economy is for Team Dark Horse, because they have been managing it really well, even though there were some fights which have been really close. They couldn't actually make sure that they were able to wipe them out, but then their economy is far superior, and as you can see, Click as well as his teammate are going to get about a couple of kills right now, which is going to make this into a 5v2, and that clearly, the buy round really not working out for Team Vanquish, and I think it's about time they should work it out, they should sort it, because it's almost going to be the end of first half in about 4 more rounds, and if they are going to end this half in this kind of favor, it's not really going to work.
I don't know. This just seems like a complete slaughter right here. As Dark Horse, their choice of map, they're just playing this impeccably. And look at Hika right here. He's going aggressive. He doesn't care if he has an op, and he goes for the no scope and gets a kill onto LQ Man. And that is going to be 11-0 in the favor of Team Dark Horse. And I guess Vanquish Valkyries are going to be going for a timeout right now. So let's see how, what they have in store once that is going to be done, because that they need to rethink their strategy. They need to rethink their movement, and let's see if the timeout is going to be working out in their favor or not, because that is also going to allow Dark Horse to improvise on their strategies.
I mean, just look at that. Any of the guys from Dark Horse, I mean, none of them have died more than 6 times, and that's pretty impeccable. All of them contributing in their own ways to this 11-0 scoreline at this point of time. And look at that, the loss bonus is actually full for. It's quite surprising to see how
It's 4. It's goddamn 4 for Vanquish Valkyrie. So this is gonna be. I guess they can afford to, buy their guns and utilities, but making the best usage of that, I think that
I mean, they really can't buy the utilities at this point of time, because if you're gonna look at the buys at the moment, you just find one guy with fully stacked utilities, while the others have done that in they haven't bought their armors pretty well, and I think that is something which is gonna work out in favor of them if they are gonna push it out right now. As you are looking at that, they are making their way on Ivy, and one of them Feki, who is gonna watch the backstab, with an SMG, which is quite surprising, because maybe they wanted all their firepower to be right in front of them so that they can take those trades and probably get a kill or two out there, as Bobble Sacks is the guy who is in charge of Ivy. And let's see whether this defense can be crumbled if Vanquish are gonna rush it out, as we see them actually retreating at this point of time. They're making their way back to site and back to their spawn, and let's see how that's gonna work out. Fakey is gonna prime a smoke at this point of time, and probably they might be going on to A. It looks like that, I guess.
Well, they are certainly, trying to set it up, and maybe the setup might be a bait, so we don't really know how they're going to be moving forward.
I guess the Hicker could get another one as well, and that's going to be 2 kills out there from the AWP coming out there from Hicker. Both of them coming out there from the T entrance, and let's see how this is going to work. And that's probably going to give them some vibes that they shouldn't be going on to A, and that's is going to be the reason why they are making their way on a B. And I think LQ Man's going to go down as well, courtesy of Bubble Sacks with his M4A1, and let's see whether they are going to push it out. Let's see whether they can even plant it, but because Click is going to make his way and take the bomber out, which is going to leave Natsu, the last guy, alive, and say no more. That's going to be a second kill for Click in this round.
Like how Click plays the EUG. He does not even do the ADS. He just sprays from the hip and manages to, nail down the recoil. I guess that just shows how much time he put on that gun, because AUG, when you do the ADS, it is pretty easy to, control the recoil. I guess there is literally no recoil, but doing the same when you have the hipfire, I guess that just shows that Click has put enough amount of practice into the meta right now. And
but I really feel that the previous round, it could have gone in the way of Vanquish should they have pushed it on to A, because the smokes were rightly on point, and we saw the smoke coming right onto the connectors, which was actually not allowing the Oppo to have a peek out there. But really Click right now who's going to get 1. He's going to get 2 out there. The AUG prowess coming out there from him is really going to work it out for them, and that's going to be Feki who is trying to tag him out, but that is not really helping their cause, as they are right now 2 men down. It's going to be a 5-on-3, and make that a 4-on-3, make that a 3-on-3, because LQ Man and Natsu are going to get 1, and it's going to be Natsu who's going to get another as well, and all of a sudden it's going to be a 2-on-2 and maybe a 2-on-1 as well, as Fade is going to be the last man alive, and Fade was the one who got the clutch in the second round. And can he actually get another one? But no, it's going to be Natsu. That is going to be the first round for Vanquish in this match after 12 rounds coming up. This is 12-1 in favor of Team Dark Horse.
And yeah, this is certainly going to be, a refreshing round for Vanquish Valkyrie. I'm still going to be putting my money onto Dark Horse, because I feel like the way they've been playing all around, it's just been a tad bit better than Vanquish Valkyries.
I mean, it hasn't been a tad bit better. It has been comparatively way better, because the way these guys have been playing, they literally aren't bothered about what Vanquish are doing. They're just making sure that irrespective of how their response is to what they're doing, they're just pushing it out all aggressive, and that is something which clearly Vanquish are not, they're not used to doing that. I think the killer instinct coming out there from Dark Horse is actually giving them the edge in this game, because they are just pushing it out irrespective of what Vanquish are doing at that point of time.
And we see Easy right here. He is going to try to go for a peek. but he does not know that Click has already made his way onto the T entrance, and we see Click is going to be securing one more kill right here. Adish is going to be priming up that smoke, trying to look for a kill, but no, sadly his crosshair was just a little bit too, like the positioning was just a little bit too bad. We saw the guy who actually got the kill, he just jumped over.
That's actually going to be another 3K coming out there in the favor of Click. I think he's got about 3 of them in this game already, and this is quite, he's literally being the playmaker for his team in this game.
And yeah, the AUG prowess, as you said, Click has been showing some really good styling plays right now.
And it's not just about his style. His scorecard also says that 17-7 is his score at this moment, and that's really something which his team is gonna bank on, because he's been doing that really well. And that's a shot coming out there from Hicker, taking out 2 guys, and it's going to be Adish who's going to be the second guy going down, courtesy of the wall bang coming out there. And Enable is going to get 1 more as well, as Click is making his way right on top of SL, as LQ Man and his teammate Natsu, both of them are still waiting out there to see if Dark House are making a mistake at this point of time, and they really don't have any money at this point of time to go for in the next round, because they probably would be going on to SMGs. The Ts are helpless at this point of time. It's just going to be 1 person right now, and about...
yeah, this is going to be quite hard. Natsu does manage to get that kill onto Fade right here, and he is going to be making his move. But, you know, over at the washrooms, we do see Click is going to be there, and he is going to be able to get that kill onto Natsu, and that is going to be quite a... a depressing first half for Vanquish Valkyries. I guess that is a really good one for Dark Horse.
Exactly. They have been dominating the T side
just
for most
2 rounds.
of the game.
Just 2 rounds they need.
They're just 2 rounds away from winning this, and I think that could be really easy for them. That could be a cakewalk for them if they are going to play with that aggression which they have been playing from the CT side, which is quite surprising. But because whenever you are playing as a CT, you clearly tend to hold the side down, but then the way Vanquish have been playing, they probably realize that Dark Horse probably realize that they aren't really aggressive, they are playing it really passive, and they are hesitating to come out of their comfort zone. And I think that is something which Dark Horse were able to do that, and they are getting that onto their favor, as we are going to see Click who's going to take 2 of them, courtesy of the flash coming out there from Hicker, and Enable is going to get 1 as well. Fakey is going to trade it out, as Adish is going to get 1 as well, and it's going to be a 2v1, but then this is going to be another round in favor of Dark Horse, as Hicker is going to get 1 more guy out there. He already got a couple of them in terms of the flash being an assist for him, and this is going to be the match point for them. 19-9 is the score for Click, and just look at that. It's going to be 19, 17, 18, and we have a couple of guys at 13 and 12. So that is dominant play coming out there. All of them having almost about 1.5 to 2 KDR from the keys.
And I have to echo my words once more. Train is going to be one of those maps which really rewards you for those aggressive plays. And Dark Horse, their aggression is not something which Vanquish Valkyrie seem to be able to stop. And you see it right here. Dark Horse are just going to be pushing onto side. They have those SMGs. They know that whatever guns...
Oh my god, this is going to be a catastrophe for a team. This is quite sad, because they really left B alone. I mean, nobody was there at B for the CT side, and that's going to be free plant for Dark Horse, which is quite surprising. That's going to leave LQ Man as the last person alive, and he's going to go down as well. Ladies and gentlemen, your winners for the second game. It's going to be 16-1 for Dark Horse. What a dominant play coming out there. I think it's about time that they are not just the Dark Horses, but they are clear favorites for this tournament.
Hey, Dark Horse is, you know, one of the top teams in Malaysia, so I'm not really going to be surprised by their performance right now. Vanquish Valkyries, they did, you know, I feel like the mistakes that they made in this game was not anywhere close to, you know, their skills or the usage of utilities, because we saw that in the beginning rounds during the first half they were using those molotovs, they were using those smokes. It was just that the aggression coming up from Dark Horse.
I mean, it wasn't just about the aggression, but then any kind of aggression coming out there from Dark Horse, I think these guys were not able to actually react to that. They were not able to adapt to it. You know, even 1 or 2 mistakes coming out there from Dark Horse was not left attended to by the Ts, and I think that is something which was the differential between both these teams, because when you're going to look at the executions coming out there from the CTs or Ts, they weren't really par with that, because when you're actually going to see a CT or an opper from CT making his way onto T entrance, that's
That is some
how
aggression.
exactly that's how
That's
aggressive
when
they
you know
are.
something has gone wrong. And Dark Horse, they played that extremely well. They played Vanquish Valkyries in their palms. Like they were just forcing them to go where they wanted to, and there was just gonna be one more guy over there
And
just waiting to get that kill.
And it wasn't just about that, but when you're going to look at the smokes coming out there from Vanquish, they were able to execute those smokes on point. But the problem was that the follow-up after that was not pretty much good, because they did do a little bit of distraction with those smokes. But then when you're actually smoking connectors and A site and all of that, you should be heading out there so that the opper is going to be blinded because of that, and he was not able to actually get onto his angle, and he could have, I mean, T's could have just gone and they could have rushed, but that clearly was not the case. They were just waiting at T base, waiting to see if they are going to push, which clearly was something they could have worked on. Probably got another 2 or 3 rounds at least because of that.
Yeah,
Because I
that was
feel
a
like
little bit of a hesitant gameplay, which which Vanquish Valkyrie did
Vanquish.
in the T side. Especially as you said, they were not really playing like the terrorists. They were waiting for the CTs to actually go for the push, try to make some mistakes. But Dark Horse being one of the best teams in this tournament right now, they were not making a lot of mistakes, and their aggression got rewarded exponentially, and they won this game. So yeah, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Vanquish Valkyries versus Dark Horse. Dark Horse taking a humongous victory over them, and we still have a lot more games of CSGO to be played in the first shot tournament. So if you guys want to know what the status of the tournament is up to, go ahead and like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you guys don't miss out on any of the Southeast Asian CSGO action.
I mean, also let your friends know about that, because even if they are going to get, if they are going to get to know about all of this, they probably will be not missing the next tournament, which we are going to get, which we are going to give it to you all. So I think this is about time where we are going to leave you with the highlights. And this is me, Tangenberg, also known as Sriram Vishal.
And this is Ulvar, also known as Siddharth Prashant, and we are going to be signing off right now.
My friend, I am tired of this talk AK, man. But it still does the job too, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, Why don't you just go to Playtonia.com, man? Play what?